Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video from this woman saying that white people and also other people will never fight for liberation. And what she actually said made all sense because more like what is going on today. I mean, I think black people actually made all of them so chilled and relaxed all those years because they've been the one doing the fighting. Like, you know how they are the mother of the world when it is not going great. They just have to come out and do what they are supposed to do to make sure that everybody is okay and, try to wage some war and operations, the rest of it. So last year, they called everybody all out to do the right things in order to reduce some certain things that has been going on, the operation that has been going on within black community, like and other communities, and they failed themselves and failed black people. That was when black people said enough is enough. It's time to sit down and make you feel what you people always make us feel. That is where the problem began. That is how black people became the villains. They became the victims. That is how black people are the worst human beings ever. I think the problem is that black people have been doing it for them and they stopped doing it and they said, we are not doing anything. It became a problem. But you know what? Let's get into
White people won't fight for their own liberation because the consequences of fighting for their own liberation does not currently outweigh the oppression that they are under. I used to think that like empathy would be a thing, but then I realized that the majority of Americans do have some concept of the history that really went on, and they're minimizing it because our education system lets them. And let's be real, because like our parents told us really not nice and not good and not true things about other communities, because they did. Don't look at me and say they didn't, because they did. Every single one of us knows at least 3 stereotypical race-driven jokes that all of our relatives said. Like, I have seen white people lie to themselves so badly that they don't honestly know that they're in poverty. I've seen white people completely unaware of the fact that they were disabled and talk very strongly in negative fashion about both of those communities. So I honestly believe that until white people's oppression becomes heavier than the consequences of liberation, not a lot of this is going to change. So like, it might actually take fascism. And even then, 80 years after that,
when Black Americans tell you that they're sitting this one out and they are not going to get involved with all of this stuff that's going on in America because they did their job on November 5th, I'm here for it. And I'll tell you why I'm here for it. Angie Wong was on CNN with Asa Philip. Angie Wong is second-generation Chinese. And somehow Angie Wong, being second-generation Chinese, who was previously excluded from the United States of America because of the Chinese Exclusion Act that the civil rights movement changed to allow her parents to come here, to then have her here in America, that they are no longer allies to anyone but white people. She was president of America first. She's a Republican. She is talking about the people in New York, that they're fearful. And that's why people move to Florida and how much land they can get in Florida. I'm a Floridian. Florida is one of the most expensive states in the United States of America, and I'm going to tell you how expensive they are. Your property tax is a mortgage in itself, even when you get homestead exemption, so that's a lot of bullshit. The public supermarkets are one of the most expensive supermarkets in the United States of America. Everything down here is expensive in Florida. So trying to rationalize it with New York is bullshit. I bought a house in Broward County That house was built in the 1970s. It was a prefab house for $35,000. The house today, the taxes on that house is $11,000. And supposedly, the house is worth $400,000. The house is not worth $400,000. I mean, I sold the house back in the 2000s, but I am telling you, I lived there for 20 years. It's not worth $400,000. So Angie Wong is claiming all the rich people will leave. Well, when they get to Florida, they will find some tax bills that they have never seen. And Angie Wong is typical of why the black people in America have said they're sitting this one out. Because the minute that they come here, they realign themselves with the same people who try to exclude them and then learn how to oppress the people who were here already. That is the typical immigrant who does not want, these Asians, they do not want to be part of the BIPOC community, and black Americans are disengaging from them, and I don't blame them, because they're 100% right. But go watch that interview with Angie Wong, second-generation Chinese, who was previously excluded from this country, talk about all the white supremacy talking points.
Black woman, I need us to stop giving grace to every fucking body. I need us to stop giving grace to these men, to society, to non-black women of color, to white society in general. I really need us to stop being as graceful as we are, as resilient as we're known to be, because what do we have to show for it after centuries of giving grace? Grace that we never ever receive from anybody fucking else in this society. We don't receive it from our own men, that's for goddamn sure. And we certainly don't receive it from white society. We don't receive it from other non-black women of color when we are advocating for them. Please recall that those same people, all of those people in all of those groups I just listed, couldn't bother giving us grace in that fucking voting booth in November of 2024. And I fully understand the logic behind it. We are extremely empathetic, and it's the same grace that we don't receive that we so willingly and freely give to society, to groups of people who go out of their way to harm us. You know, I get it. I totally understand it. I'm victim to it myself, and I'm extremely guilty of it to myself. So I'm preaching to myself when I say this. We need to be just a teensy bit more selfish. And I also think we as black women need to modify our definitions of selfishness, because it is so ingrained in us. We are trained and brainwashed from conception to believe that any form of self-advocacy, any form of putting yourself first or setting any kind of boundary in any part of your life is immediately selfish, and we are immediately demonized anytime we prioritize ourselves in any way, no matter how small or big. I totally understand that. It's literally undoing centuries of brainwashing. It's in our cells, it's in our DNA, it's in our thought processes, but we have to start somewhere. Because the rates at which we are perishing from cancers, from autoimmune diseases, from suicide, the rates at which we are suffering with mental health crises, the rates at which we are dying like alone without the support that we give to others, the rates at which we are suffering, even if we're alive, we're like living in survival adrenaline mode rather than really living and thriving. It has to stop somewhere.
I'm going to try to make this short and sweet, but I find conversations about the 92% or black women or black people resting or sitting this one out and the finger wagging that comes with it to be disingenuous and offensive, even more so offensive when it comes from a face that looks like mine. And I find these conversations to be offensive because y'all are treating black people, especially black women, as if they're fucking stupid. Especially when I see talking points of, don't they know that they're next? Why are black women falling into this dangerous alt-right pipeline? They're falling into white supremacy. That's not the case, and it never has been. Black women have told y'all why they and myself refuse to not be on the front lines. And even when we are vocal about it and the reasoning is right there in your face, y'all will speed past the shit. Y'all will ignore the shit because it doesn't fit some damn narrative that you've warped in your mind. And all it shows me is that y'all think that Black people, especially Black women, are expendable, that we're expendable tokens of justice, and tokens always get spent. And Black women have said no. And it also goes to show me that you guys do not understand that rest does not equal inaction. I can support in other ways that don't require me getting my head not between the washer and the dryer. Because I think it's kind of asinine for y'all to ask me, a member of a marginalized community, to put my body on the line. Have y'all lost it?
I don't care what nobody says. Being held accountable by your own kind is the most effective method. The only method that I might place above that is the feel it to learn method, where you got to make them feel it to learn. That's the only other method that I would put above that. But being told about yourself by somebody who looks like yourself, it just hits differently. It's almost like, damn self, you might be onto something. Damn self, damn twin, I gotta listen to you because you look like me. And it's for that reason alone why I gotta leave the Latino community, why I gotta leave the Cuban American community in Florida specifically, why I gotta leave the I will vote Donald Trump with this clip. I gotta leave you guys with this clip.
African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And
Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said? Because it's the exact same sentiments that every African American person, every Black American person have been screaming since elections time. The same exact sentiments. And now, because of the bullshit that the Latino community have entered themselves into, literally voting against the same exact group of people that now hold the power of being able to save you. She said it. She said it. See, I knew this. I knew that it's only the African American community, that it's only the Black American community that can save the Latino community from the bullshit that they got themselves into. I knew this. But see, you're not going to listen when I say it. But you'll probably listen when she says it. And the thing about it too, see, technically, I'm a Latina. I'm Haitian. But I'm not the Latina that you're going to listen to. I'm not. That one, though, she is. She is. She has that proximity to whiteness that you guys respect. Right? So now she states that it's only the African American community that can save the Latino community from the bullshit that you guys put yourselves into. And you only are in that because you were so hell-bent on voting against the same exact group, against the interest, the self-interest for that same group of people that now are the only ones that can save you. Look at that, full circle.
for the African American community that has not come out because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it. I get it. But I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans. Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, that all of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
Again, it's not coming out of my mouth. She said it. She said it, and she's 100% right. For the I will vote Donald Trump. You guys, y'all got to start kissing some black ass. Y'all all better get to kissing some black asses. And right now, the black asses ain't moving for shit. If it's not for them, they're not moving. They're not moving. So I don't know how you guys gonna make it through. But she just said it. She said it. It's the African American community. It is the Black American community that can save you guys from the bullshit that you are in. And you can think the I will vote Donald Trump. Thank them.
I gotta say this. Every marginalized community that Black Americans supported in their movement, after those communities got where they wanted to go, they either distanced themselves from Black people or they became anti-Black. And that's from the immigrant community, the Latino and Asian community, to the LGBTIA community. The Black people in those communities, their voice and representation are marginalized. Check out the white feminist movement. Even though Black American women are the foundation of feminist movements, Sojourner Truth, Bell Hooks, their voice are marginalized in those communities. They're not heard. Every time there's a feminist movement or a feminist event, the speakers are white women. And let's not talk about these immigrant communities. The Latino and Asian community have the same anti-Black sentiments against the Black American community that white nationalists have. None of these groups reciprocate the love. All these Asians and Latino representatives, they're against reparations. The feminist movement, they never put black women as the face of that movement, even though they're the foundation of that movement. And look at the LGBTIA ... community. If you don't look like Ellen DeGeneres, you're not gonna be recognized.
This is a message to all my Black people. How many times do we have to be shown that we need to unify and work together to really build something beautiful for ourselves? How many times do we have to be shown that what these people are putting out, like all the propaganda, all the stuff that these white people saying, like, shoot, you even got the Bible, for instance, but I don't even want to go there. How many times do we have to stop being spoon-fed some BS before we wake up and realize, oh, it's BS? Like, what? How come we can see all these other races? You got Indians, you got Chaldeans, Arabs, Chinese, Mexican. You got all these other minority communities. When we're talking about minority, but the real minority is the white people. How do we have all these examples of people that work together and build beautiful communities? You want a nice big home? A lot of their families work together to build that nice big home, and they split the cost and they do all of that good stuff. Why do we have all these examples to still sit here and be dumb saying, oh, well, I got to do it on my own. I can't help that person up because then they might take from me. And then that's another part. Why do you think you got to take from your own people? I know it's all about the environment that you raised in, but you got to be more than a product of your environment. People look up to all these Kobe's, the Shaq, the LeBron James. You look up to all these athletes and be like, oh, I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my family. Like, let me get like that. I'm going to make sure everybody good. Why do you have to have that mindset when you get the money and you can't have it right now? Why can't you build each other up instead of waiting to try and build somebody up? Because in all reality, the only thing money does is really highlight how you are as a person right now. And if that's not the type of person you are, that's not the type of person you're going to be. And sometimes if you want to be that person where, okay, now I got it, so I'm going to just give it out, you ain't even making any smart moves with that. People get so much money and they go broke so quick because they making dumb financial decisions. As a people, we have been oppressed for way too long, spoon-fed a lot of BS, and we know it's BS. That's what's even worse. We know it's some garbage, but we still eating. I ain't even gonna say we, because I ain't on that. But you still eating it, bro. Like, don't it get tired eating shit? Don't you want to throw up? We can't have all these examples of all these other communities giving us the blueprint on how to make it work and how to make it. And then we sit here and wonder, like, well, why ain't nothing going right? Why is it always like this? Because, nigga, you ain't doing the work. Because you continuing to always, you're continuously taking from your own people. Because you feel like you can't let the next man be better than you. There is more than enough to go around. They make money out of thin air, bro. Thin air. And you think it's not enough. It's not enough to go around, but we got all these examples from all these other communities on how their families are thriving, how they have stores. You got the Asians that own all like the hair supply stores. You got the Chaldeans and Arabs owning the gas stations, the liquor stores. Indians got a lot of food markets and stuff like that. And what do black people have? We have the ability to influence the culture, right? Are we only going to be the influence and not be able to provide for our influence? We influence different hairstyles. We influence different food. We influence different types of things like the liquors and all that. But we can't own the stores? Like, this don't make sense, bro. We have to do better as a people. Because it's too evident and too obvious when you have the blueprint in your face. All these communities are doing one thing. And they're doing this one thing, what? Together. Oh my God. Am I really putting something new out here? They're doing it together, bro. And imagine if we all came together, because we got this issue with, I'm going to tell you, these white people over here thinking they superior and they are the majority. They're not. And that's the problem. They think, and they have everybody else thinking that they are. But, bro, we all came together. Now what? I think, aren't they less than 10 or 2%? You know, they are so low of a race, but so high in confidence and misinformation that we just eating it up. Nigga, how can you keep eating it up? I don't. So somebody piss in your cup and tell you it's water. I'm just expecting, from what I've seen now, that people believe it. And they gonna drink it. Not me, bro. This is ridiculous.
I'm going to say this. Latinos been eating off the Black American community for too long, and they never reciprocate anything. Even from their labor rights, they got they playbooks, the plays in their leaders' playbook, they got from Black Americans. Asa Philip Randolph. This was a Black American with the first successful Black American labor union. The Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. He showed everybody you could be from a marginalized group without any mainstream motion, and you could still get stuff done. So out of his playbook, they took his strategies and applied it to their movements. Before that, they didn't have no motion. They didn't have a playbook. But after they seen Asa Philip Randolph and his movement, his labor movement, his labor union movement, they took his plays. Caesar Chavez.
This is all I got from this video. And sincerely speaking, they are not lying. Everything they said is 100% correct. When I say 100% correct, 100% correct. Why? Because it's been Black people carrying everybody on their head. It's been Black people doing everything for everybody. Hold on. Black people have literally carried everybody through the walk, through everything, through the rain, through the sun, and all that. And one thing I have found out about carrying people along, and when you are carrying them along, they are not carrying you along, is that sometime someday, you definitely will be very tired and you do not want to do that work. You do not want to help. You just want to relax. And that is when you will become a problem. That is when you will become the bad person. Because if you look at what is going on today, you definitely will know that Black people are the problem. Yeah. With everything happening now, it is Black people's problem. Why? Because they help in helping them. Black people help them all through, right? Now that Black people need help or need time to chill out. You all are the problem because you are no longer doing that thing you've been doing for them. So it became a problem. That is one of the reasons why, with everything going on, it's also a teachable moment for people. Whatever you know that you will start, and eventually, just like today, you wake up and you give me, let's say, $20 a day. It is you being kind to me, right? I am not entitled to your money because it is not my money. It is your money. But out of your kindness, out of everything, right? You choose to be kind, to give me that money. Then the day you stop giving me that money, it became a problem. When it shouldn't be a problem because you've been kind to me. You've been helping me out. This is how human beings are these days, right? The day you just let me, someone you've been helping all years, all time, all day. The day you will say, let me take a nap. I deserve nap. Then you are the problem because you are no longer there to fulfill their promises or to fulfill their desire and all that. And that is, this is actually huge for those that do not understand. You see, those people that will never, ever give you a cup of water are always the ones that will fight tooth and nail to make sure that you do not have peace. And it is actually happening. Yeah. It is happening. Some people are leech. I've been saying this, and some people are so corny, very corny, that they will be drowned. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they feel so chilled that something is going on and it is really very serious. And you see them gallivanting, see them doing what, because they are waiting for the other people, the only people that know how to put their bodies online to come out and do what they know how to do best. I ain't playing that game anymore. There are some games you play for so long and you absolutely get tired of playing it and you just want to do something else, or you just want to abandon that game and keep going. It's either you abandon the game and keep moving. And I love the fact that you all abandon the game and you are moving without looking back, because some people, the only thing they want to do is to continue vulture. They continue to suck you till you do not have any blood. And then they complain how your blood is no longer sweet or tasteful enough to be sucked. Human beings are weird and they are wired differently. We see all the fight you've been fighting. We see everything you've been doing. This is also one of the reasons why when we talk about BIPOC unity, I am no longer huge on it. Why? Because I used to really be very huge on this 2 years ago. How it will really be very amazing, which you and I know it will absolutely be very amazing if everybody come together and do the right thing. And that was one of the reasons why Black people called everybody all out last year. Let's do the right thing. Let's make it work in our favor, because all these years it has not been working in your favor, right? It has not been going well. And you wanted things to go away. You wanted it to be okay, not just only for you, but for everybody. That was where you became the problem. That was where you became the bad person. Man, really. There are some people I pray I do not come in contact with in my life again, because they will never help you grow. Rather, the one you are trying so hard to do, they continue to see that you have nothing to give again, then they run away. And they are not losing. You are the one that will lose. They will not lose because they have nothing to lose. You are the one that got something to lose. You see the way you are trying to protect your peace, the same way I am also learning to protect my peace, because some territory deserves to be protected. Not everybody deserves to be where you are. You are a king. You are a queen. You got all it takes to make so many things happen. That's why they keep running back. Because if they care so much about themselves, why did they not do the right thing? If they care so much about you, why did they... See, I have problem with people. I am not saying there will never be peace or there will not be. No, that is not what I am saying. I want us to be very clear on this. Someday, hopefully, there will be peace. Someday, maybe everybody will come back to the right senses and all that and want to do the right thing. But there are some things you don't force people to do, because when you force people to do something, you are actually the person that needs that most. Because to them, you are the ones that they are helping, not knowing that they were going to help themselves. So maybe in their mind, the only thing that was on their mind is that black people are immigrants or something, that if like they will be deported eventually, like they were saying. So maybe that is the angle they were waiting and looking out for, so that when you get deported, they will take over. Like, how is that even possible? I don't know how I feel talking. I don't know. I feel some type of way. I feel kind of heavy, because this is like something people will absolutely learn something from, because it's more like what people are going through. I mean, one thing I love about black people, and some certain things happen around, which I do not want them to continue to happen, is that there are actually some people's problem, because there are some people that have friends like this. You can relate, and most of the stories are very relatable, whether it's something you really have to sit down and learn something from, whether it is whether it concerns you or not. You must learn something out of it. That is, if you are willing to learn. Yeah. So, yeah, this is it. Why people are so good at doing the opposite and then come back to wait for you to do the right thing for them. Help them. I mean, I don't know how you people have been struggling and living, but it's really, it's tasking, mentally, emotionally, because it's very draining. Bye for now.